Welcome back to the Dinar Chronicle, the trusted destination for all things related to global currency revaluation, economic shifts, and monetary policies that shape our world. If you're passionate about following the latest in currency revaluation, especially involving the Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, and other emerging market currencies, then you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and buckle up because today's video is nothing short of historic. Yes, you heard that right, $4.12 for one Vietnamese dong. This is not a typo. According to breaking reports circulating through financial analysts, high-level banking insiders, and global economic news circles, the Vietnamese dong may have just experienced one of the most unexpected and seismic revaluation events in modern history. A revaluation rate of $4.12 per dong has reportedly been confirmed in select financial institutions, sending shockwaves through the currency trading community and raising critical questions about global currency alignment, asset-backed policies, and what comes next. Let's break this down from the beginning so we understand the context and gravity of this alleged revaluation. The Vietnamese dong has long been viewed by many currency enthusiasts and financial insiders as one of the most undervalued currencies in the world. Often trading at fractions of a US cent, the dong has historically been suppressed due to a variety of economic, geopolitical, and structural factors. But for years, there have been whispers in the economic underground that Vietnam was preparing for a major economic overhaul and revaluation of its national currency. This speculation has been fueled by several factors. First, Vietnam's economy has been one of the fastest growing in Southeast Asia, posting impressive GDP growth figures year after year. It has become a hub for manufacturing, trade, and foreign direct investment, especially as global companies look to diversify their supply chains away from China. Second, the Vietnamese government has been engaged in significant banking reforms, working to clean up non-performing loans, stabilize inflation, and increase foreign reserves. Third, Vietnam has increasingly aligned itself with global financial standards and digital infrastructure, including blockchain pilot programs and cross-border payment systems. All these signs have pointed to a nation on the verge of financial transformation. But even so, the leap from a value of about 23,000 VND per US dollar to a staggering $4.12 for one dong is unprecedented and would represent the single greatest revaluation of any fiat currency in history. That's a gain of over 90,000%, something no economist could have realistically predicted without some form of radical monetary restructuring behind the scenes. So what exactly is going on? How could such a leap even be possible? Let's dig deeper. Multiple sources, some anonymous banking officials and others who are part of the international investment community, have suggested that this revaluation is tied to a much larger, coordinated global currency reset, often referred to in these circles as the GCR or Global Currency Revaluation. According to this narrative, various countries with undervalued currencies, such as Iraq, Vietnam, and Zimbabwe, are in the process of aligning their currencies to a new asset-backed standard. This standard is reportedly anchored in gold, rare earth minerals, oil, and other tangible resources. The $4.12 figure is believed to represent Vietnam's true economic value based on its GDP output, natural resources, trade surpluses, and its role in the global supply chain. One particularly interesting theory that has emerged is that Vietnam has been stockpiling gold and other valuable assets for over a decade in preparation for this exact moment. By leveraging these reserves and positioning itself as an economic engine for Southeast Asia, Vietnam may now be presenting its currency to the world with a value that reflects its true economic power. And if that's true, this event is more than just a financial story. It's a geopolitical earthquake. It challenges the existing monetary order and calls into question the reliability and fairness of the fiat currency system that has dominated the world since the fall of the Bretton Woods gold standard. A revalued dong at $4.12 would force central banks, investment houses, and multinational corporations to reconsider everything from trade contracts to currency reserves. Already, reports are surfacing of banks halting foreign currency transactions involving the dong until further notice. Some financial institutions are allegedly updating their forex systems, and even certain travel agencies have reportedly stopped accepting Vietnamese dong for exchanges. This level of activity suggests there's something major happening behind closed doors, and it's more than just a rumor. What's even more fascinating is the reaction from international markets. Gold prices have begun to spike, while fiat, Currencies like the euro and yen are experiencing unusual fluctuations. Meanwhile, crypto communities are buzzing with speculation that the revaluation of traditional currencies might signal a shift toward digital asset-backed financial systems, possibly facilitated by blockchain or quantum financial technology. These changes could usher in a new era of transparency, decentralization, and equity in global finance if handled correctly. But let's not jump ahead too fast. At the moment, while numerous reports claim this $4.12 rate has been verified by major banks, there's still a veil of secrecy surrounding the official release. Neither the State Bank of Vietnam nor international bodies like the IMF or World Bank have issued formal confirmation. However, those familiar with major revaluation events know that the rollout is rarely straightforward. It's often a staggered process with non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, restricted platforms, and tiered release strategies, especially when it involves private exchanges and military-grade security protocols. This leads us to the possibility that the new rate is currently available only through Tier 1 exchanges or private groups who have long been involved in pre-negotiated currency deals. If that's true, then public access to this rate might follow in the coming days or weeks, but it would also mean that the global financial landscape is already shifting beneath our feet, and the general public just hasn't been brought into the loop yet. Regardless of the timeline, this rumored revaluation has reignited the hopes and dreams of millions of Dong holders around the world. For years, people have quietly accumulated Vietnamese Dong as part of a belief, or some would say a faith, that one day the world would wake up and recognize its true value. Today, that belief seems to be paying off in ways that are still hard to comprehend. The potential windfall from such a revaluation could change countless lives, fund major humanitarian projects, and fuel the kind of prosperity that reshapes entire communities. Of course, with such extraordinary claims, skepticism is natural. Many experts and financial media outlets have dismissed the idea of a Dong revaluation as fringe conspiracy for over a decade. They've pointed to Vietnam's relatively low per capita income, state-controlled economy, and structural inefficiencies as reasons the currency couldn't possibly be worth more than a few cents. And yet, here we are, allegedly standing on the precipice of a new reality where the Vietnamese Dong is valued at over $4. As more evidence begins to surface, more people will have to grapple with the question, what if the experts were wrong? What if a currency that was dismissed as irrelevant was actually a sleeping giant, quietly amassing economic might and waiting for the right moment to rise? And what does that say about the rest of the global monetary system?